I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Matari and Duncan. Are there changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I will call for public comment. And hearing none, we'll go ahead with our one discussion item today, and it is the Panhandle Health District FY25 budget review with Director Don Duffy, our soon-to-be retired Mr. Duffy. And
ex-director.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your service while you've been in position.
Thank you, Commissioner. I've enjoyed my 10 years at the Health District. So today we're talking about the FY25 budget, Commissioner, as you mentioned, and a couple of things to remember is that the budget will be presented to you today. This is not, of course, an action item. It's an opportunity for you to review the budget before our budget hearing that will be on May 23rd. And again, we're inviting the chair of the commissioners, and I believe that is you, Commissioner Duncan, to join us for that vote that will be again May 23rd at 11 o'clock at our facility. Commissioner Matari, you're welcome to attend as well. And at that point, at that meeting, it will be Commissioner Bertling from Boundary County that will be the chair on that day for the budget hearing. And this is where we bring commissioner representatives from each one of our counties to vote on our FY25 budget. So just please have that on there. We look forward to your attendance, Commissioner Duncan, for this budget.
It's on my calendar.
Wonderful. And then following the budget hearing is our Board of Health meeting. You're welcome to stay. Lunch will be served between those two meetings. And with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Christine Krummer to review our budget.
Thank you, John. Commissioners, you should be.
Oh, you got to push that little button there so it turns green. Thank you.
There we go. You should each have a packet. If we turn to page 2, this is just a reminder of the formula allocation. 70% of the county funding is based on population, and 30% is based on taxable market value. Page 3 is the fiscal year 25 budget. The first thing that I would like to address is we are not asking for an increase in county funding. It remains at $2,496,000. Out of the last 11 years, we have only asked for an increase 5 times, bringing the average down to 1.23% increase in funding requests over the last 11 years. If we look at total personnel, we will see that it has decreased by $689,000. That is largely due to a decrease in grant funding. We had a number of grants that did not renew as we went into fiscal year 25. You'll see that down here under contracts and grants as well, where there is a decrease of $600,000. We're asking for a 5%. We have budgeted for a 5% increase in salary and wages for the employees for fiscal year 25. We've been having increases that are somewhat low over the last couple of years, 3 to 4%, that have not stayed up with the inflation that we've been experiencing. We're also attempting to slow the, or let me say it this way, we've had challenges in recruiting and retaining staff, so we're trying to be as competitive in the marketplace as we can be. Total operating expenditures include a 5% increase in areas that are service activity related, such as lawn maintenance, any contractors that utilize a lot of gasoline, a lot of personnel. We're anticipating increases in that arena. The only thing that we have increased in our operating budget for 25 in the area of operating expenditures is a computer refresh. We haven't had a computer refresh since prior to COVID. So we have $68,000 budgeted for computer-related items and also some carpet maintenance. The building is 18 years old now, and we're starting to see some wear in carpeting. And also in our capital outlays, we have approximately $184,000 included for paint and new carpeting. Carpet is lifting, it's warping, and it's showing wear in certain areas. And in some areas where it is showing the wear and lifting, it's becoming a trip and fall hazard. Trustee payments, that is down by $15,000. Trustee payments are just typically pass-through funds that are unrelated to our operating expense. We're passing it out to the community in somewhat of a grant format. So total expenditures are under or lower than the fiscal year 24 budget by $900,000. If we move down to revenues, we'll see that program advances are down by $275,000. Program advances are related to funds that we have already. They're in the form of restricted funds, and this is mainly the large component is our opioid funding that we've received. The reason why it is down by $275,000 is we have less staff in the program, but the same amount of money is still being sent out to the community in that funding. Licenses and fees, it's only down $3,500. Health services, a decrease of $37,000. As I mentioned, contracts and grants are down $596,000 because the number of grants did not renew. Donations, other, I was on the conservative side, and it's been budgeted less by about $18,000. The rate of interest, I was very conservative last year. I was too conservative. I budgeted based on what we're seeing in the current year, which is causing the increase of about $30,000. So in total, the budget is a decrease of $900,000 compared to fiscal year 24's budget. If you look at the next page, unless you have questions, we can move to the next page.
Just how much in grants did you lose?
We lost approximately $700,000. And a large component of that would have been the HRSA grant, which was a grant that was funded over a period of 3 years, and it was for $1 million. So that was the significant loss there. And then the others were multiple grants, such as we had several grants that totaled $174,000 from the Office of Drug Policy that did not renew. Adolescent pregnancy did not renew. I think that was approximately $45,000. So it was the sum of those grants that impacted the reduction in grants.
All right, thank you.
If we move on to the next page, we just have the pie chart of what represents the funding coming into the district. 47% of that funding is related to grants, 26% is related to fees, 6% miscellaneous, and this year, because the budget decreased, we went from a 19% county funding to a 21% in county funding. If we move to the next page, now we start seeing where the calculation for the county appropriation comes in. You can see Kootenai County had an increase in population by 1,432 individuals, And the source data for this information is coming from population, is coming from the US Census, and the property valuation is coming from the Idaho State Tax Commission.
So is that in arrears then? Because we
Yes.
don't have, okay.
It is. It is. So valuation, Kootenai County increased by $1,306 million. If we take those numbers, go to the last page, the county allocation formula and billing schedule, the fourth line down in the upper section there, you will see that the allocation, total allocation for the year for Kootenai County is $1,678,000. That's a decrease from prior year of $18,149. Basically, Bonner County picked up that difference. The shift and drift between property assessment and population.
Is this
That
the
is
first
it.
time? Sounds like the first time Kootenai County's share's gone down in 5 years. I don't remember.
I think that's about right, Commissioner.
It is. It is.
Sorry,
have-
Bonner.
Well, I was actually pleased to see that. It was nice to see a shift. It was nice.
Questions?
No, no questions, just a comment. Thanks for bringing good news to us.
You're welcome. I hear it will help with the new cars that are being purchased, the new vehicles.
You were here for that meeting then, so.
Good news travels fast. My only thing is in anticipation of May 23rd, if I could get a little bit more detailed budget would be helpful for me, just in case any of the other counties have any talking points. That would be a little bit, this is super high level, which is great for today, but maybe a little bit more detail and I can work with you and get something like you lined out some of the things, the carpet and some of the different things that I like to see a little bit of
Can do, absolutely.
that stuff. So
If you could give me more detail, that would be helpful.
yeah,
Everything has been pretty much the same as last year with the few items that I just mentioned.
sure. I just want to be able to speak intelligently to any opposition to the budget. So
We could do that.
okay, thank you. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, public comment. Anybody on the phone? Anybody online? Okay. 3:13, meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys.